Okay, so this morning we are going to be going over our quiz, and so I am projecting a copy of your quiz in this video. So the first question is really discussing the relationship between multiplication and division. And so it says the color company has 508 crayons, and this is exactly where I would always write in total. It had 508 total crayons. The crayons were packed in boxes of 4. So these are our groups, okay? And this is the exact same thing that we've done since 3rd grade. So those are our groups of 4. Which equations can be used to find the total number of boxes the company needs to pack all crayons? And so I am going to insert a triangle because this is that relationship between the different numbers in this equation. So we know the total is 508, right? And we know the groups are 4. So something times 4, this is our unknown over here. Something times 4 equals 508, or 508 divided by 4 equals something. And so we can use this relationship between the numbers to find out which equations are true. And we talked a little bit about this in groups. So here's number A. And so we have to move these boxes over to show which ones are correct. So we have to look through the problem. So the first one says 508 equals something divided by 4. So when I look at the relationship between the numbers, does 508 equal something divided by 4 in this relationship? And the answer is no to A, because what we should have is 508 divided by 4 equals something for this problem. So A is incorrect. B says 508 divided by 4 equals something. That is the relationship of the numbers in this problem. C says 4 divided by something equals 508. And there's absolutely no way if you started with 4 as your dividend and divided it with something that you would equal 508. So that's just an absurd question. The next one says 508 times 4. Well, that's not going to get us this unknown. That would move this number down here, and then we would have another number up here. So that's not correct. And the last one that is correct is 4 times something equals 508. So all of those problems are just the relationship between the numbers in the problem. And so the correct answers are B and E. For number 2, the way you need to answer number 2 is you need to answer, and it says, what is 479 divided by 7? It says, Louisa correctly solves the division problem. 479 divided by 7 using an area model as shown below. So this is correct. What is the answer? And so you're simply going to take the parts of the quotient, 68, but you cannot forget the remainder. The remainder is shown down here. So a lot of you guys forgot the remainder right here. Okay. And so the answer is 68 remainder 3. And that is, this one's worth 2 points. This one's worth 1 point. And then this one's worth 4 points. And we talked about that on Friday. So what I need to know when I look at number 3, it says complete the area model to find the quotient of 642 divided by 3. Write your answers in the boxes. And so what we have to start with is we have to figure out this piece first. I need to know what number goes here in order to know what to multiply 3 by. And so when I look at this, it says 642 minus something equals 42. Well, that's really easy. I know that I have to take away 600. If you figured out that part, then you pretty much got this problem right. So 642 minus 600 gives me 42 left. So now I have to ask myself, what do I multiply 3 by to get to 600? And a lot of you said, well, I know if I multiply 3 by 2, I get 6, and then I need 2 more powers. And so again, that's 2 points that I've already answered right there. And now I have 42 left over, so I'm going to move it over here. And now the next part is, what do I multiply 3 by here to get 30? And the answer is 10, right? And then the last part right here is how do I put all of my parts of my questions back together? It's 214. Whoops, 214. This was worth 4 questions. So it really is, can you complete the area model to find division? And so that is kind of the way that page 1 looks like, okay? So there's 2, 3, and 7 on page 1. Page 2, it says, and you guys really needed to understand the question. On constructed responses, you really have to read the question. So it says, Kevin solves the division problem below. Explain how to check whether his answer is correct. It does not say explain how he should do it to solve it. It says explain how he should check his answer. And the correct answer, and I saw a lot of really great correct answers using academic vocabulary to explain, is Kevin needs to multiply his quotient 52, right, by the divisor 5 to check his work. Then Kevin needs to add the remainder back on. If he ends up with 261, then he knows he did his division correctly. He knows he did his division correctly. So this is worth 2 points. The first part is, did you explain, right? And the second part is, did you say he has to multiply 52 times 5 and add 1? That's the correct answer. So this is worth 2 points, okay? And the last one is, which area model shows the way to solve 762 divided by 6? Well, when I look at A, they don't even start with the total dividend of 762. So that one is ridiculous. So there's no way that one works. I'm going to fill it with something more there. And then I look at this one, it starts with 762. So that I know could be an answer, 762 divided by 6, which we have 762 divided by 6. So this B could be one. Then I look at C and it starts with 800. So why would I start with my dividend of 800? That doesn't make any sense. So that can't be one either. So I know A and C are not one. And when I look at D, it says 762 divided by 6. So my choices are B or D. And when I look at it, it says this one has 127 equals 127. I'm going to look at that part. This one says 112 and 7 is 119. So those look right. Now I'm going to look at my math. So 6 times 100 equals 600. And 762 minus 600 is 162. 162 comes over here. 6 times 20 is 120. Leaves me with 42. And then I subtract. And so B looks right. And if I did my problem out on my own, I would end up with the partial quotients that B has. So let me look at D. So it says 762 divided by 6. 6 times 100 equals 600, which leaves me with 162. That is correct. And then I have 162 minus 120 equals 42. That's correct. But the part that's incorrect on D is it says 6 times 12 equals 120. Does 6 times 12 equal 120? No. 6 times 20 equals 120. So we know that we found the error in D. D is incorrect as well, okay? Which means that the answer is B. So number 5 is worth 1 point. It's being able to identify the correct area model for division. And then 4 is worth 2 points. So there's 3 total points on slide 6, 7 total points on slide 5, 10 total points. Make sure that you do your test corrections and get it turned in.